Hello and welcome to the first ever piece of video content made by the Porsche AI team. My name is Munir. I am the co-founder of Porsche AI. We are an open source SDK for building predictable, controllable, and authenticated agents in production. I want to tell you a bit about our product today, and I'm probably going to commit 100 cardinal sins when it comes to video content creation. This is my first ever video, so I would appreciate your comments and feedback and the like to encourage us to keep going. So let's just jump straight to it. I am going to move my face out of the way because that is not what we're all here to see. Voila. And I'm just going to go through a high-level deck. Again, this is a conceptual walkthrough. If you are interested in getting your hands dirty and you sort of learn by doing, please click on the link in the description below to go to a more sort of code-along video where I talk about all of the same concepts in a sort of just a bit more of a hands-on way. Let's just jump straight to it. So what are we trying to do here? I've designed our SDK to focus on three pillars: the spectrum of autonomy, human in the loop, and authentication. So what the hell does that mean? From talking to users, what we've understood is that users want to be able to predict the course of action that an LLM is going to take and possibly iterate on it. And so that's a sort of spectrum of autonomy where they want to be able to have some preemptive visibility. The second thing is that they'd like to define the sort of conditions whereby an agent executing a task interrupts itself and solicits human input. And so that's the sort of human in the loop part. And finally, authentication, where in a similar way that a human authenticates themselves into a tool that they are using or software that they're using, like their Gmail, they would like their agents to sort of inherit authentication and permissions to carry out certain actions in production systems. And so these are the sort of areas that we wanted to focus on. So let's just unpack the spectrum of autonomy piece a little bit more. If you look at the options that are available today, you've got this sort of more deterministic, hardwired agentic workflows where you have to define every step and an agent for every step. And so those are deterministic, but they're also fairly brittle and not particularly adaptable. And then you have on the other end of the spectrum, the sort of fully autonomous agents where you sort of string together a bunch of it or bring together a bunch of agents and hope that they sequence their actions in a way that produces the outcome that you want, but you don't really have control over or visibility over how they plan on sort of sequencing their activities. And so what that actually looks like, if you think about the first end of the spectrum, the sort of more deterministic and brittle part, you'd be hardwiring your workflow, so every node and every tool and every agent. Whereas on the other end, it's a bit more of a sort of prompt and pray. And we've had a case where we were trying to build a refund agent, and what happened is that the agent that creates the refund decided to do that, and then only afterwards invoke the agent that checks the refund against the refund request against the refund policy, and sort of in hindsight figured out that it should never have raised the refund. And that's not really what you want. So what we've done is the separation of concern between planning and execution. So the first thing that happens is you submit a prompt via the Porsche client, and it goes into our planning agent. And you can offer up any number of tools that you like. That could be internal tools that you've built yourself. It could be some that come in our cloud catalog, or it could be some that you're loading from an MCP server. And our planning agent is then able to produce an easily readable plan in JSON, which then obviously you could render in any UX surface as well. And that would then allow you to iterate with the planning agent to get to the desired course of action. And so once you've sort of had that pre-expression of the plan and worked through it, the Porsche client will hand that plan over to, or traverse that plan with a number of execution agents to go through every step. And so they will call tools along the way and process the outputs of those tools along the way, and enrich a plan run state as they go along. So that you can monitor the progress of a plan run at all times. What they can also do is whenever they encounter conditions where a human input is required, is that they can raise what's called a clarification. Clarification is a structured abstraction that we use to handle the human agent interface. And because it's a structured object, you can sort of surface it in any sort of user experience that you like in order to get human input. So pretty powerful concept. So what I'd like to do now is maybe just walk through an example at a sort of high level again, conceptual. And once we've gone through that, we can conclude this video, and in the next one, go through an actual implementation of all of this. So let's say I'm trying to book a meeting with Robbie. This is sort of my prompt, and I have all of the necessary tools fed into the planning agent. So the first thing the planning agent does, as we said before, it's produced the plan for me. Find Robbie's email address, get an available slot in their calendar, and book that slot. And so it's strung together. It is able to string together the relevant tools at every step and string together the inputs and outputs across the steps. The next thing that happens, let's assume we're happy with that plan, is the Porsche client is creating a plan run in a blank state, and the first execution agent is dispatched. Now, in this particular case, for the sake of argument, this execution agent took this local contacts tool, trying to find Robbie's email address, and it came back empty-handed. And so because it's unable to meet its objective, it's now raised a clarification that says no match. At this stage, Porsche is handing over execution of the plan to the developer with the structured clarification object, which as a developer, you can now surface to the user with the relevant context and guidance attached automatically. And you can obviously surface this through any UX surface you like. And when you obtain a response from the user, it's posted back into the plan run, which allows the execution agent to resume. And despite having failed at finding a contact through the local contacts tool, it has the information from the clarification and can provide that as an output of the first step and consider its job done. And this then takes you to the second step. Now, in the second step, we're going to see a slightly different type of clarification. In this particular case, this execution agent is trying to call the Google Calendar tool. Obviously, Google requires authentication. And so this agent now says, well, I'm unable to complete my job because authentication is required. So it's going to raise an action clarification with user guidance that says authentication required, and it is going to attach to the user guidance a URL for the user to follow and get authenticated. Now, in this particular example, and with all of Porsche's tools, which include the Google Calendar tool, they all come with plug-and-play authentication, and they all rely on the authentication clients that we have with the various app providers like Google. And so in this particular case, with the redirect URL, we're able to, once the person authenticates, we're able to obtain the OAuth token and store it in Porsche's token store. Clarification is considered resolved. Happy days. The execution agent is now equipped with that token and able to complete the tool call and fetch Robbie's availability bright and early on Monday at 8 a.m. And now the final step can take place. And so this execution agent, even though it's using another Google Calendar tool, the Create Event tool, is already equipped with the OAuth token from the previous step, which gives it access to Google Calendar, assuming the scope is broad enough in this example. And so it's able to complete this tool call and return the result, which is that it was able to book a meeting at Monday 8 a.m. with Robbie. And your final step is just a sort of summarization of the entire plan run, which is really like the most salient piece you need, say, if you were rendering an output in a conversational UI to a human. So these are really the core concepts. This was meant to be a sort of walkthrough to bring it all to life for you. In the next video, we will go through an example implementation of this, an actual code along of this. So look forward to seeing you there. Hopefully this wasn't too bad for a first video. Again, please do like and subscribe. Find us on find our SDK and give us a star, or join the conversation on Discord. You can find all of the links in the description below. Thank you very much for watching.